What is more terrifying? To be swallowed by a monster, or to survive only to learn your fate never truly belonged to you? Welcome to History Reborn AI. The world remembers Odysseus as the clever hero who crossed the sea and returned to his throne. But behind that myth stand the ones who saved him, imprisoned him, loved him, betrayed him, and turned his road home into a graveyard. Using AI, this video brings 20 faces back from painting, pottery, sculpture, and legend. Stay until number 1, because the one who protected him may be the one who wrote his entire destiny. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Number 20. Ino, later known as Leucothea. A woman rises from a black sea, offering a stranger a scarf that might be his only hope of survival. Ino belongs to Greek myth, no fixed century, no verified record. Only ancient vases and coins showing a sea goddess with a mortal's memory. Legend says she was once human before the sea claimed her. When Poseidon shattered Odysseus's raft, she appeared, gave him her veil, and told him to dive into the waves. The public remembers a merciful goddess. The colder truth is that her mercy was forged from a life already lost. She appears for only a moment. Without her, the journey would have ended on the ocean floor. Number 19. Nausicaa. A young princess stands on a riverbank, refusing to run from a stranger stripped of everything but his will to live. Nausicaa exists only in epic tradition, her image drawn from ancient vase painting and 19th century canvases, never a true portrait. Athena secretly arranged the meeting. Nausicaa gave Odysseus food, clothing, and directions to the palace, yet had to keep her distance, guarding her reputation from a kingdom quick to gossip. Her kindness lived inside a cage of judgment. Some historians believe her feelings went further than the text dares to say. She led him to the road home. History never let her walk that road herself. Number 18. Eurycleia. An old woman kneels to wash a beggar's feet and freezes at the touch of a scar. Eurycleia is the aged servant of Odysseus's household. Her image carried through a Melian terracotta relief from the 5th century before Christ. In a house where everyone else saw only rags, she recognized her king by a wound from his youth. She nearly cried out. Instead, she was forced into silence, so the plan for vengeance would not collapse before it began. The kingdom had forgotten his face. One old woman still remembered his wound. Loyalty, in her hands, became a burden she had to carry in silence. Number 17. Eumaeus. A swineherd sits by his fire, sharing his last bread with a stranger he does not know is his king. Eumaeus survives only through the words of the epic itself, a man born into nobility. Tradition claims, then stolen and sold into slavery. Without recognizing the disguised Odysseus, he gave him food, shelter, and protection, later helping him reclaim the very palace that had once been someone else's inheritance. The world once treated him as property. Yet loyalty, unbroken by betrayal, still lived inside him. A king returned home because a man who had lost everything still chose to give. Number 16. Alcinous. A king studies a stranger seated at his table, a man who has not yet spoken his name. Alcinous rules the Phaeacians, a people whose homeland belongs entirely to legend. Remembered through classical illustration and neoclassical painting rather than any surviving portrait. He heard Odysseus's story, gave him treasure, and sent the finest ship to carry him home. But hospitality carried a price. Poseidon turned the returning Phaeacian ship to stone, transforming an act of kindness into a warning etched across the sea. He welcomed a stranger inside his hall. The ocean made his own people pay the debt. Number 15, Aeolus. A sealed leather bag holds every storm wind trapped inside, and one careless hand nearly ends a kingdom's hope. Aeolus governs the winds in Greek tradition, his image shaped by ancient reliefs and later Renaissance canvases of the Windkeeper King. He bound the harmful winds away, letting favorable air push the fleet toward home. When the coastline finally appeared, the crew opened the bag, believing it held treasure. They were hurled backward across the sea, and Aeolus refused to help a second time. Certain the gods themselves had cursed this man. They saw home with their own eyes. Their own hands pushed it years away. Number 14, Hermes. A messenger steps from the trees, holding out a single herb that could mean the difference between man and beast. Hermes appears throughout Greek mythology, his image preserved in bronze and marble statues carrying the winged staff of a divine courier. He handed Odysseus the herb that broke Circe's spell, and later carried Zeus's command that forced Calypso to release her prisoner. But Hermes did not intervene out of affection. He was simply the will of Olympus given feet, being saved by a god. Some historians note, does not always mean being loved by one. He opened two doors for Odysseus. He never promised what waited beyond either. Number 13, the Sirens. Two winged women perch on a cliff, their song promising forbidden knowledge instead of simple beauty. Homer never gave them individual names, and ancient art rendered them as bird-bodied creatures, not the seductive figures later legend invented. A British museum vase from around 470 years before Christ shows Odysseus lashed to his mast as his ship passes their island. Their power lay not only in beauty, but in the promise of truths about war and the wider world. He ordered himself bound so he alone could hear them, while his crew sealed their ears with wax. He survived the song. No one knows how long its words remained inside him. Number 12, Charybdis. The sea itself opens its throat, swallowing ships whole in a single violent breath. Charybdis is not drawn with a fixed ancient form, a monster imagined instead as the ocean given hunger and will. After losing his entire crew, Odysseus drifted alone back toward the strait, forced to cling to a fig tree above the whirlpool, until the wreckage was finally spat back to the surface. Here, intelligence meant nothing. Nature simply refused to negotiate. The record remains uncertain whether Charybdis was a true monster or only memory turned into myth by sailors who feared a deadly current. There was no victory here, only a moment the sea chose not to finish him. Number 11, Scylla. A six-headed horror rises from a sea cave, snatching men straight from the deck. Scylla's form shifted across centuries of Greek art, carved into vases, coins, and ritual dishes with no single fixed design. Circe warned that resistance was useless, yet Odysseus armed himself anyway, and 6 of his men were torn away regardless. The darker truth is not the monster's hunger, but a leader who knew death was coming and chose not to tell his crew the whole truth. History remembers that Odysseus survived Scylla. The 6 who did not have almost no names left at all. Number 10. Helios. A blazing figure drives a chariot of fire above a sacred forbidden herd. Helios, the sun god of Greek myth, survives in coins, carved stone, and vase painting showing his four-horse chariot crossing the sky. Both Tiresias and Circe warned that his cattle must never be touched. Starving and stranded, the crew slaughtered them while Odysseus slept. Helios demanded justice from Zeus, threatening to take his light down into the world of the dead. The ship was destroyed. Only Odysseus survived. They ate to live one more day. That single meal erased every day that should have followed. Number 9. Tiresias. A blind prophet stands among restless shades, the only dead man still trusted to guide the living. Tiresias, the legendary seer of Thebes, appears as a spirit in the underworld, his image drawn from ancient vase scenes of Odysseus's ritual summoning of the dead. He warned of Helios's cattle, foretold a lonely homecoming, and promised one more journey after the palace was reclaimed. The exact meaning of his prophecy about Odysseus's death remains disputed among scholars to this day. Knowing the future did not mean the power to escape it. Odysseus sought a path home from a man who no longer had one. Number 8. Calypso. A paradise island hides a man weeping quietly at the water's edge. Calypso survives only through neoclassical and symbolist painting. No ancient portrait ever confirmed as her true likeness. She kept Odysseus for years, offering eternal youth and immortality. Yet he sat facing the sea, longing for a home he could not reach. Only when Hermes delivered Zeus's command did she release him. Scholars still debate the nature of what passed between them, though the text is clear about his longing to leave. She could offer him forever. She could never offer him the one thing he wanted: permission to go. Number 7. Circe. A sorceress lifts a golden cup, and men lose their human shape before they even understand what is happening. Circe, an immortal enchantress of Greek myth, is remembered through ancient vase art depicting her confrontation with Odysseus, alongside centuries of later Renaissance and pre-Raphaelite painting. She first stripped his crew of their humanity, then, defeated by the herb Hermes had given him, restored them and kept the men on her island for a full year. She became his guide, sending him to the underworld and warning him of the Sirens, Scylla, and Charybdis still ahead. She once turned his men into beasts. Afterward, she taught him how to survive far worse monsters. Number 6. Zeus. A king of gods sits above the clouds, deciding mortal suffering with a single word. Zeus, ruler of Olympus, is preserved in bronze, marble, and coinage, though some surviving statues remain disputed between him and his brother Poseidon. He permitted Hermes to free Odysseus from Calypso, yet also sank his ship after the slaughter of Helios's cattle. He favored no one, only the order of the gods themselves. To mortal eyes, that justice felt almost indistinguishable from fate. One nod from Zeus opened the road home. One bolt from his hand erased every man who walked it beside him. Number 5. Telemachus. A boy raised in his father's shadow becomes a young man standing armed beside him. Telemachus, son of Odysseus and Penelope, appears on a Melian relief alongside Penelope and the disguised king. His story later reimagined across neoclassical art. He grew up through his father's near-total absence. Athena pushed him to search for news, then guided him home to plan the reclaiming of the palace. Their reunion brought no peace, only a war he had not chosen but could not refuse. He waited for his father to make his family whole again. The man who returned brought an entire war back with him. Number 4. Polyphemus. A blinded giant screams into the wind, cursing the name of the man who deceived him. Polyphemus, the one-eyed Cyclops and son of Poseidon, is preserved in ancient vase art, now held in institutions like the British Museum, depicting his blinding and Odysseus's escape beneath the sheep. Free and safe, Odysseus let pride overtake caution and shouted his true name from the departing ship. Polyphemus begged his father for vengeance, a delayed and broken homecoming, lost companions, and ruin waiting inside Odysseus's own house. That single triumph became the root of nearly everything that followed. He defeated the monster. In shouting his own name, he handed it the power to destroy his future. Number 3. Penelope. A queen sits at her loom by candlelight, unweaving by night what she wove by day. Penelope, wife of Odysseus and mother of Telemachus, appears on a Melian terracotta relief depicting his return, alongside vase paintings and centuries of European art showing her at the loom. She held off remarriage through secret weaving, while suitors devoured her household and threatened her son. When Odysseus returned, she did not believe him at once, testing his identity through a secret only he could know: the bed. Hope kept her alive. It also kept her trapped in 20 years without proof. Odysseus crossed the sea to find his way home. Penelope had to keep that home standing, so he would have one. Number 2. Poseidon. A bearded god rises from a storm, his trident aimed at a fragile raft below. Poseidon, brother of Zeus and god of the sea, is identified across bronze, lead, coinage, and vase painting by the trident that distinguishes him from other gods. His fury was not without reason. Polyphemus was his son, and Odysseus had not only blinded him, but boasted his name aloud. Poseidon could not undo a fate already sanctioned by Zeus, but he could stretch the journey, wreck the rafts, and punish those who helped his enemy along the way. Odysseus fought to return to his son. Poseidon hunted him to avenge his own. Number 1. Athena. A goddess in a warrior's helm stands half hidden in shadow, watching every choice she has quietly engineered. Athena, goddess of wisdom and strategy, survives through bronze statues, marble heads, coins, and vase art, marked by helmet, shield, spear, and owl. She pressed Zeus to allow his return, guided Telemachus, arranged the meeting with Nausicaa, disguised Odysseus, and helped plan the slaughter of his enemies before ending the cycle of revenge. No single figure touched more turning points than she did. That reveals a colder question. Did Odysseus command his own fate, or was he a favored piece on her board? Poseidon made Odysseus lose his way. Athena decided who he would become when he found it again. They saved him, tempted him, and nearly destroyed his road home. In the end, does the legend belong to the survivor or to the hands that shaped him?